Detective Comics, issue 951, written by James Tynion IV and art by Christian Douce. And this is the first part of the League of Shadows story. And we did criticise the 50s story for being called a prologue to League of Shadows, which I still think is a little bit of a cheat. But at the same time, I will at least give them two acknowledgements here. It does seem that this arc will focus on Cass, so that does seem a bit more relevant in hindsight. And Shiva showed up at the end of that issue, and she is part of the League of Shadows. So,
no, I can appreciate that. It still doesn't feel like it was enough to call it a prologue.
See, this is the weird thing though. I feel like now that I've read this issue, I think it makes sense that that last issue will be the first one in the trade. Like,
I agree that it should be the first one in the trade, but prologue seems weird when you don't even mention the words League of Shadows. I don't think in that story.
Oh, I don't think you have to mention them.
I don't know.
That seems a bit anal to me. Don't get me wrong, I agree with you at the time, but now that it seems to actually be focusing on Cass as like the core part of it, because a big part of this issue is Batman and Batwoman talking about Cass and saying, "Oh, we think we need to ensure that we support her not just as Orphan but as a person, as Cass." And with that fun little banter where Bruce is like, "I'm going to take out the ballet. I've got a box. We can take out the ballet. Dress up nice, Batwoman." And by the way, in that scene actually, Batwoman cracks a little line about, "Oh, we can be happy and also be, good superheroes," or something to that effect. And Batman says, "Oh, I shouldn't have let you talk to Superman." That sounded like a very specific. That didn't sound like a general, "Oh, I shouldn't let you speak to Superman." It sounded like a very specific.
I feel like I'd missed something.
Yeah, "I shouldn't have let you meet Superman" is kind of what it sounded like, which makes me think that she's going to pop up in another book and meet Superman soon.
Yeah, I was getting that impression as well.
That's what
because
it felt
I
like.
thought, hang on, that hasn't happened in this book.
No, so I'm thinking could be Justice League, but we'll never know because I dropped that. But
Perhaps Trinity.
Perhaps Trinity. Yeah, maybe she'll make a wee cameo in Trinity. I can see it. Or
It's only a
hell, maybe her own book. Maybe a Batwoman.
It could be her own book, but I don't know. It would feel weird to divert the focus to have Superman so early on.
Yeah, well, it depends how they do it. Maybe she needs information or something, and she's like, "Oh, Superman can help me with this. I'm going to ask Batman to
I suppose.
introduce me so that I can get X information."
It felt weird that there wasn't an editor's note telling us when we can see this.
Yeah, maybe it's because maybe the issue it was meant to be in was actually meant to be out before now, and it's just
Yeah, but even so, they usually still have editor's notes.
yeah, maybe.
It was a small thing, but it was weird.
I'm expecting it to happen now though, at some point.
Yeah, me too.
So maybe
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it. So obviously the actual main plot though of the book is that Shiva is leading the League of Shadows into the city, and Colonel Kane is like, they never attack head on, or they do attack head on, but they never take credit for their own work. They always make it look like it's someone else, and that's why they've been so secretive, and Batman still doesn't believe they exist. In fact, one of my favourite moments in this book was Batwoman's like trying to convince him that maybe they do exist. And he's like, "Look, it's too much of an easy solution to this whole thing to just accept that this mysterious league exists." And she's like, "Oh, you're wrong." And as he's walking away, he goes, "Or I'm wrong."
Yeah, I like that he accepted that he could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't think he is, and that's fair enough, because most people typically don't think they're wrong, but at least he's open to the possibility.
I think it's him, like he's built this family around him. It's him like putting some trust in them to make their own decisions. We see a little bit of that in Teen Titans later on as well. But so that was good stuff. So what the actual League do in this issue is they murder the mayor, which again makes the last issue feel a bit more like the prologue than it did before, because the mayor was introduced in that issue, and here Batman comes to see him, and he's been stabbed. He's like basically crucified to the wall.
This is why I feel like another reason why I feel like I missed some time between this and the last issue.
Okay.
Because they talk about how they've been working with the mayor and that they did stuff, and it was like, okay, so it feels like there's a bit of time passed since that.
Oh yeah, sure. I think the way you phrased that made me think you felt like you'd missed part of the story.
No, but I felt like because
it's a time jump.
Yeah, there was a time jump, but that in addition to the Batwoman Superman.
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah. I agree that there's probably a time jump here, and I think that's something that most of the books should do between arcs, just because a lot of the characters are meant to fit into other books at different times, and it helps them all kind of slot together if there's more.
So you can go, oh, this stuff happened between these arcs.
Yeah. So you can say, all right, so the stuff that happened, say, in the main Batman book was in between those two. detective arcs and so on, and you can do it that way. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But no, proper violent guys like the mayor's just stabbed up to the wall. Cops come in, think it was Batman, and actually get a shot off. I really like the moment after he jumps out the window and he feels that he's being watched, and he turns around to see, and presumably it was Shiva, but she's gone.
I think that was the impression. Yeah. I wasn't that keen on that scene in general, though. The cops immediately leaping to it. Like, has Batman not earned enough faith at this point that they're going to go, hang on, maybe Batman didn't do this?
That's kind of fair.
I mean, it's the sort of thing you typically see during his early years stories, and I appreciate it then because he doesn't have the relationship with the cops that he does. But given how he's even like, hey, call Gordon, we'll sort this out. And they're like, nah, we're just going to shoot you. It just felt weird. Like, it just didn't work for me, that bit.
That's fair. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing where it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, it could just be these individual cops who are hot-headed, or maybe
it could be.
They have a grudge against Batman. Because I remember one of the things that I loved about Gotham Central was that a lot of the cops did not like Batman, and they resented him.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I can kind of write it away with.
Yeah, that's fair. It stuck out as
bias.
weird when it was happening.
Yeah. I liked everything else about it though. I liked how.
Oh yeah.
Dark and violent the murder is. I like the Batman thing, sensing he's being watched and all that. There's some fun stuff in this issue as well, of course. The mudroom going haywire and the Penguin like constructs are doing kung fu.
That's fun to see.
That's fun. And again, that was Batwoman cracking jokes. Again, separating her from Batman, and that she will crack these jokes. And that's pretty cool.
It was nice because that showed both of them being concerned for Cassie in different ways. Like Batman was very straight edge about it, like how he usually is, but Batman was still making these jokes about the situation while she was worried about it still. Yeah,
it's really setting up this idea that they're the parents of the Bat family right now.
Yeah,
which really works. It's pretty cool. So when they go to see Colonel Kane after the initial like murder discovery, and he's like, all right, so they always never take credit, and whatever the worst possible thing that could happen to Gotham City next is what's going to happen. And then when they leave the scene, there's like some great moments with Kate and her father where they still have that awkward tension, but there's like still a connection there.
Yeah.
And when they leave, like Batwing's like, hey, come up, the news is on, and we see like news reporters. And what's cool about this is I had no idea how this news report scene was going to end.
Nah, me either.
Because obviously it's all on one page, so you could just glance at the bottom of the page and see it if you wanted to. But just in the sense where, because of everything that's happened in the story, for no reason do you expect you're going to get a Joker laughing gas scene.
No, it's like by the time you get to the third panel where she's starting to laugh, I was like, okay. And then the next one, her face is going white. It's like, oh, okay, this is that. And
I'm like, are the League going to like do a fake Joker attack? Is that what they're going to do now? Like, that's pretty cool. And they hear about a riot. I've been affected by the Joker's gas, and they all show up. And as soon as they get there, Orphan's like, "Wait, something's not right here." And all of the people who were rioting and fighting turn and look at them with their weapons, and their eyes are all like blacked out.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's them being controlled by something, or if that's just this is the League.
Yeah, I was under the impression that maybe they are the sleeper agents that we were all talking about, but it doesn't really explain the eyes.
I don't get the eyes either. That's why the eyes are the only thing that makes me think, they're being controlled in a way like that. Because otherwise, I just thought they were no, this is the League of Shadows that are in the city.
See, I get that, but then it's very specific how she says no, they're pretending.
Yeah, they're pretending.
So that feels like it's a conscious choice for them to then turn on the team.
Oh no, I agree. The only thing that makes me think it's not exactly that is the eyes, because the eyes feel a bit more like someone's mind controlling or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
But no, it's right now. I'd put my money on that it's the League. It's them.
Yeah. I really liked just before that scene, the Cassie and Clayface.
Oh yeah, they had some good moments there. Yeah, where Clayface is pretending not to be scared.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, you scared?" She's like, "No." I was like, well, I'm not scared either. I'm cool.
And she's like, "Heard something being watched," and he's like, "Nope, not scared at all."
So good.
No, this issue kind of had a good bit of it. It had a good intimidating sort of build to the villains. It had good humour. It had good character stuff with them caring about Cass. It had surprises. I didn't expect the Joker laughing gas stuff, but it was kind of a. It was kind of a. As far as an issue goes, it had a bit of everything and was very satisfying.
Great start to an arc.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say I thought the art. I mean, I thought the art was fine, but I don't think it's maybe up to par with some of the other regular arts we've had.
I agree. There's a few bits I did really like the bit where Batman gets shot, and the silent part there. You know, there's like a handful of panels where he falls down, and you have the acrobatic like ghost bit.
Yeah, and I did like at the start when Batwoman and Batman are talking. It's right when he says, "I shouldn't have let you speak to Superman," and she says, "Let me," and she's got a smirk in her face, and there was some moments like that.
I think the faces are very good.
Yeah, faces are pretty good generally. It just wasn't sticking up to the same sort of standards that Eddie Barrows and some of the other people have been doing that have been working on the book.
Definitely agree with that.
But hey, double shipping, we have to.
It's one of those things we have to live with these days.
Have to make some sacrifices, I suppose. That's Detective Comics. I really like Detective Comics. It was
me too.
Really solid issue. Great Bat book. Oh, we should go to Matt. I was about to move on there. We need to.
Oh yeah, what does Matt think?
Matt's thoughts.
Because Batman, can't have him skip the Batman book.
Exactly, it's his favourite. Detective Comics. So this is his words. So excited for where this is going. Love the Mudroom Penguin stuff. The Shadows seem like a serious threat. Batwing is totally Iron Man. That moment between Colonel Kane and Kate was great. Tynion's Bruce is my favourite Bruce so far. That was brimming with positivity.
Shockingly so.